breaking free. Yeah, we're breaking free. No more oppression. It's out for liberty. Breaking free. Yeah, we're taking a stand. Freedom's in our hearts. We're reclaiming our land. They try to silence us, but we won't be tamed. Voices getting louder, can't keep us in chains. We got the power, we got the might. Together we can shine, together we can fight. Feel the rhythm in your feet, it's time to stand tall. Raise your voice and shout, we're breaking down the walls. We're breaking free, yeah, we're breaking free. No more oppression, it's out for liberty. Breaking free, yeah, we're taking a stand. Freedom's in our hearts, we're reclaiming our land. They try to silence us, but we won't be tamed. Voices getting louder, can't keep us in chains. We got the power, we got the might. Together we can shine, together we can fight. Feel the rhythm in your feet, it's time to stand tall. Raise your voice and shout, we're breaking down the walls. We're breaking free, yeah, we're breaking free. No more oppression, it's out for liberty. Breaking free, yeah, we're taking a stand. Freedom's in our hearts, we're reclaiming our land. We're claiming our land, yeah.
I hate this show. Oh my goodness.
All right. Welcome, everybody, to Are You Smarter Than a Politician? This is the political cage match where bold solutions win and bad ideas get wrecked. Tonight's show is a special show. It's a fundraiser for our friends at You Are the Power, an organization that helps ordinary people stand up when the government power goes too far. So tonight's theme is simple: power versus people. We're digging into real collisions between citizens and the system, the everyday battles where people push back and demand accountability. So now the twist tonight is 14 notable political minds enter the gauntlet tonight. They'll battle head to head, one round at a time. Winner moves on. Now, whoever survives the gauntlet earns the final challenge, a boss battle against the great Justin Amash. So get ready, because tonight's going to be crazy, and you get to decide who is smarter than a politician. Joining us, our buddy Spike Cohen, founder of You Are the Power. How are you tonight, Spike?
I'm doing fantastic, man. I've been looking forward to this for months. This is super cool. I'm so excited. I can't wait to see some of my closest friends and colleagues in this fight for liberty, people I work alongside with every single day, and crush them one by one in front of everyone, ending with my final crushing of the great Justin Amash, making me I wouldn't be the new Justin Amash, making me smarter than the politician in question, which is Justin Amash. So this episode would be, are you smarter than Justin Amash? And then we put in parentheses, yes, Spike Cohen is.
So I remember we were in a hallway somewhere. I don't know if we were in Vegas or Florida or where we were, but we're in a hallway somewhere. And I go to you, Spike, picture this. It's a game show, but it's a fundraiser. And you were like, how much coffee have you had? Like that was like 10 months ago. And we've been kicking it around since then. And so excited to do this. The buzz around this has been crazy. We appreciate everybody getting excited about this and sharing it out. And so thanks for doing this. I also want to say hi to Terry. How are you tonight, Terry?
Oh, wow. This is going to be so much fun. Are you seeing this chat scrolling and scrolling? Come on, you guys, let's do this. I'm going to bet on the government. No, I'm kidding. I'm not betting on the government. You guys have a good time. Let's go.
Awesome. So you can follow Terry and I on X. I am at Smarter Game Show. She is Bats T76. And let me get that out of the way. Let's see. And you can get our swag at freedomsuperstore.com. if you want to follow us on YouTube, we are at Freedom Uncut on YouTube and also the same on Rumble. Our shorts will be there tomorrow. We also want to thank our sponsor, Xano. If you're tired of surveillance coins pretending to be freedom tech, Xano is private by default and lets you turn your own into secure digital assets you control, built for people who want freedom outside the banking cartel. If you believe in real freedom, visit intro.xano.org to learn more. And we are doing several more conventions. Announcing tonight, we will be at the Colorado convention, April 17th and 18th. So at the end of this month, March 27th, we'll be in North Carolina, April 10th through 12th in Texas. And then this will all end up at the national convention, May 21st through 25th. So please join us there. And you know, if you want real change, join your state party, become a delegate, help shape the national convention. Don't just talk about liberty, live it. And thank you to all of our subscribers. We got a couple new ones today. Jay and Anarchist Chef joined us today. Really appreciate it. All the money we're spending, all this stuff. You guys are really helping out a lot. If you want to subscribe to us, you can do that on X. And if you'd like to sponsor the show, email studio@freedomuncut.com. So, all right. I think that's all I had to cover. So let's get into it here.
Let's do this.
All right. So please share this out. Help get this out to as many people as possible. We want to raise money for this great organization. Let's see. I already did all that. Oh, so the grand prize winner tonight, because Trump ruined peace prizes, we wanted to make a better peace prize. So we made the Are You Smarter Than a Peace Prize. So that's our grand prize. We also have on the prize shelf Mike Johnson's signature cologne Swamp Ass, as well as the Ayn Rand Fountainhead Teddy Bear. We also have the Are You Smarter Than a Politician Home Edition, if you want to know your friends and neighbors. And we have an assortment of libertarian bobbleheads, including, if you notice on the left, Justin Amash, who is our final boss tonight. And we have the new board game from us. It's called Neoconopoly, the game of global domination. You can take over your neighbors, steal their resources, bomb them, schools. It's all open. It's a game. And we also have the game Food Pyramid Scheme, where you give subsidies and you shut down farms and you make a lot of money. And we also have the Trump random tariff generator. You pull his arm to generate a tariff and he pulls it out of his ass. And somebody's got to take this tonight. Please promise to take this.
The Trump
we paid a tariff on it. Nobody's wanted it. It's May already or March already. Please take this away. And of course, we have the Lego Killdozer.
Of course.
So let me get onto our stage. Our first contestant is Jeff Charles. How are you tonight, Jeff?
I am doing awesome, and I want to apologize to Justin Amash because I'm going to destroy Spike Cohen so badly there won't be anything left for Justin Amash later.
Wow.
Oh boy.
Wow.
Yeah, it's going to be like that, homie.
Yeah. Well, I want to apologize to Justin for all of that too.
Excellent. All right. So let's just throw it up back. All right. So here are the rules. Usually I'm the government, but in this case, as you can tell by the fancy swag I'm wearing, I am the referee. Whatever I say goes. Scoring errors count. Life isn't fair. Suck it up, Buttercup. Nobody cares. Here's how you enter scores. The chat controls the score. You can give or take up to 100 points from the contestants. And because in the usual show, I am the government and I believe in crony capitalism, subscribers can give or take up to 200 points because they matter more. And nuking a score, any former contestant can nuke a score, you know, like Lindsey Graham on a Friday night and take a score down by 1,000 points. But they can only do it one time and there's got to be a good reason. All right. So this is the lightning round. I will put Terry in the back. She controls the score in the chat. Thank you so much, Terry. And we will start with you, Spike. First question. The category is protecting those who expose corruption. Should public employees who report corruption be protected from being fired?
Yeah, they absolutely should. I mean, if you don't do that, then not only everything else is already built in place to try to protect corruption. You have immunity for the people that do wrong. So it would be crazy not to give immunity to those who report wrong. You've got perverse funding incentives and quota systems and everything that encourage over enforcement, including wrongful enforcement, which is a lot of what You Are the Power deals with on a daily basis. And so everything is already kind of structured in such a way that it encourages corruption. That's why government is so corrupt, is because by its very nature, it is kind of geared and built towards being corrupt. So if you are now, if you now have someone in there who's reporting actual corruption that's happening and you don't protect them, well, then that's one of the few things that you actually have that could potentially even let you know what's happening in the first place. So we absolutely support it. So much of the causes that we've worked on at You Are the Power is because someone who was operating inside of government or contracting to government came to us and said, hey, this is wrong. You need to do something about it. So absolutely. Our bread and butter is people letting us know about government corruption so we can put an end to it.
All right. Jeff, to you, the question is, should government whistleblowers receive legal protection even if they exposed classified wrongdoing?
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, of course. Anybody who exposes government corruption should be protected. I agree with everything Spike just said, but I'm going to go one further. Those people need to be protected, but not just that. We need to strip all of the immunity that Spike just mentioned. Absolute immunity for prosecutors and judges. We need to strip qualified immunity for every other government employee, especially police officers. The only ones who should have a level of immunity are the ones that expose what the government is doing, because they're the ones who actually need it, because the government is the only entity that has a monopoly on violence. Take away their immunity. Let the whistleblowers still have theirs. Actually, give them more immunity.
All right. I like it. All of the immunity. All right. Spike, back to you. The category is the power of a jury. Should juries have the right to refuse to enforce laws they believe are unjust?
Yeah, it's called jury nullification, and it's kind of the fourth branch of government. You've got the legislature, the executive, the judicial, and then the people who look at this when it goes to court and say, nah, I don't think this is good at all. And in fact, we actually had this recently, a type of jury nullification with the Hernandez family in Georgia. They were wrongfully accused of abuse. Their child, their youngest daughter, Emma, has some kind of a medical condition that caused her to have fractions. She's now thankfully being treated for it. And so they knowingly wrongfully accused her of abuse and tried to railroad them in their criminal trial and tried to put them away for up to 40 years each for a crime that everyone involved, every bit of evidence showed had not happened. And what the judge did was he wasn't allowing the jury to actually see the exonerating evidence. He pulled out every single stop. He wouldn't let them see the medical records or the bulk of the medical records that showed that Emma's injuries were explained by a medical condition. They weren't allowed to hear from the cop who arrested them, who didn't think they did anything wrong. Have you ever heard of that? They weren't allowed to hear from the it's called the Division of Family and Children's Services, their child protective agency, and the family courts, who had declined to continue moving forward, saying that there was no evidence for abuse. We helped with that, but they weren't allowed to hear that. They weren't even allowed to hear that Emma and Aria, their two daughters, missed their parents. They weren't allowed to hear any of this. All they were allowed to see was the x-rays that showed fractures with no explanation for the fractures, and the opinion of a so-called child abuse pediatrician who brought no other evidence and said, yeah, statistically, these types of injuries are caused by abuse, and you can see it on the internet. That was literally what he said. And so the jury wasn't allowed to see any of that. But the incredible and legendary defense attorney, Catherine Bernard, who was representing Matt and Taki Hernandez, one of the times when the judge was reminding the jury that they weren't allowed to, I'll remind you that you must strike what you just heard from your record. And she turned to them and said, and I'll remind you that according to the founders, you are the final trier of the evidence. You are the final decider of what is true and false. And that jury came back and voted not guilty on all 4 counts in what was clearly an act of jury nullification. They saw that the fix was in, and they said, no, we're not doing this. You're muted.
Damn it. Now Casey's going to take points from me because I was muted. All right. Question is, should jurors be told they have the power to judge both the facts and the law?
I'm going to tell you right now, there is a reason why the government doesn't want regular people to know that they have the power to nullify verdicts. Or to nullify laws. Most people are watching this are probably familiar with Dexter Taylor's case, right? Really quick. He's serving a 10-year sentence in New York because he built his own firearms, never fired them, never committed a crime, clean criminal record. During his trial, the judge didn't say it outright, but she led the jury to believe that if they saw that he actually broke the law, they had to vote for guilty, which is infuriating because the law is unjust. And those jurors had the power to say, no, we are not going to convict Dexter Taylor, an upstanding citizen who has never had a criminal record. And we're not going to convict him under this stupid law. And that's the thing. We have to, the thing about jury nullification is that not enough people know about it. So the key is to get people to understand that they have the final authority, regardless of what a corrupt judge says, regardless of what a prosecutor says, regardless of what a public defender says. So yes, absolutely, juries should have the authority to nullify any unjust law.
Excellent. Spike, back to you. The category is who polices the sheriff? Should qualified immunity for police be eliminated so citizens can sue officers who violate their rights?
Absolutely. And going back to what my dear friend Jeff, who I'm about to crush, what he said earlier, government officials should not be getting any immunity. In fact, let's go even further. No one should be getting immunity, right? Like the idea that you or I could go to jail or be sued for if we knowingly do something wrong and it's a violation of the law, it violates someone's rights and it causes damage to them, we can be held accountable. But the people who are in a far greater position to be able to harm people at scale, that they're not held accountable and that they're given this insane presumption that, well, they couldn't have possibly known what the law says. After all, they're in charge of enforcing it. So, why would you expect them to know what the law says? It's absolutely nuts. And it's such a perversion of what was actually intended. The Civil Rights Act of 1870, I believe, opened up the ability for people to sue government officials if their rights have been violated and they had damages as a result. And over the years, every time it went in front of the courts, they kept twisting it over and over again and adding what they called qualified immunity, which if you look at it is really just immunity. And they keep adding to it until eventually it's just, yeah, pretty much you can never be sued for anything. In recent years, we've started to see them claw back. So one of the people that we've represented, Joshua Rohrer, when the police wrongfully arrested him, assaulted him, tased his service dog for no reason, and it was all on body cam. Once we got that body cam footage released, they tried to push for qualified immunity so they couldn't get sued. And the judges said, no, the facts are clear. You're not getting qualified immunity. So not only do I think we should end qualified immunity, we're working on ending qualified immunity.
Love it. Can't happen soon enough. Jeff, to you. Should police officers accused of misconduct be investigated by an independent outside agency instead of their own department?
Oh, of course. I mean, the notion that the government will investigate itself and find itself guilty rarely happens. And that's even going back to qualified immunity. That's a way for them to get away with the things that they do. And one thing I'll say is that even if you remove qualified immunity, a lot of these officers are indemnified anyway by their police departments or their city halls who will pay the settlement. So the officer still isn't held accountable. So that also needs to be addressed. I mean, you've got a lot of these officers going around like in my fiance Donnie's case, like with the people that she helps, they will go onto their farms, steal their animals, kill them, and never get held accountable from civil liability or even criminal liability. So there's a lot of work that needs to be done. We have to understand that the government has built a machine that is designed to protect itself, not us. They tell us that they want to protect us. Really, most of these laws are designed to protect the state and the people who run it. That's what needs to end.
All right. We have reached the end of the round. These are going to go quick. This is going to be a bloodbath. So, yeah. So let's jump into the chat and see how it's going.
Jeff did way better than I thought he was going to. Oh, my God.
You are the powers here. Mike Vitko's here. Timothy's here. Terry's asking us to share it. What's up, Chris? That Liberty lady's giving me 1,000,000 points for doing this. That's too kind. Remember, chat, you are the power. No copyright infringement intended. Here we go. Amity's here. First timer here. Pretty stoked. Welcome, Brandy.
Yes, welcome.
Anarchist Chef's here. What's up, buddy? Every $1 has to equal 3 because we're struggling to keep up with inflation. That is
can we talk about that real quick? Do you mind?
I was just about to say we got a segue there.
Yeah. So thank you for that, Scientific Libertarian, and everyone involved in this for giving me a chance to talk about this. So Lars Mapstead, who is not only one of the guests who I will crush later, but also he's also a very dear friend and an incredible supporter of the Liberty movement, including You Are the Power. He is matching any donation that we receive during this live stream, dollar for dollar, up to $10,000. And now that, coupled with another generous donor who is matching any donations that we receive this year, dollar for dollar, that means every donation you give today is worth triple what you gave to us. If you give us $1, it's worth $3, well, minus the fees. So don't just give us $1, but any dollar you give us is worth $3. If you give us $1,000, it's worth $3,000. If you give us $10,000, it's worth $30,000. If you give anything above $10,000, it's now worth double because Lars was up to $10,000. So it's give your $10,000.
I'm kicking you off the screen before you start talking about pie and stuff.
We
gotta go quick.
$8.7 trillion. No.
Terry's gonna drive over to my house with a calculator and hit me with it. All right. So so that's awesome by Lars. Such a generous guy, helps out so many causes here. So donate tonight is the key to that message. Ignore all of the math. The math was good. Donate tonight, right?
The math was not great.
Jake Day's here from the If by Whiskey show. Tots and pears to Terry and Amity for trying to herd all those cats. Yeah, that's true. This is a big night for Liberty. Absolutely, Jim. We got the Sharpies here. The Sharpies are in the crowd. Let's go. Rob Yates running for LNC chair. What's up, Rob? Travis is here. Real Swampcast is here. Oh, yeah. Everybody in Real Swampcast has nukes. Just FYI, guys. FYI.
Oh, no.
Woodcraft's here from the historic victory in El Paso. What's up, Mayor? Sheila's here. Thanks, Travis, for the repost. Hi, boss. We believe in you. There we go. My money's on Duane. Ooh.
Wow.
Rebecca Massey's here, former contestant. That was Freedom Fest in Palm Springs.
That was.
That was.
She's right.
You were riding on the back of Thomas's wheelchair, I think, while we were having that conversation. Yeah.
Singing the Jurassic Park theme song. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Started to recognize a few names. That's cool. If Spike wins, he will be insufferable. LOL.
Already am.
Will be?
NC Strong.
Will be. Is this a new development?
Dan, what's up, Dan? We got a bunch of people here. Sharpies.
Hey, Josh.
200 to Spike. I don't need a reason. 200 to Spike for protecting whistleblowers. 100 to Spike for seeing the design of the system. 200 to Spike for whistleblowers. Am I late for the SmackDown? No, perfectly on time. 200 to Jeff for removing immunity. 100 to Jeff for doing this halfway through a drywalling job. 200 to Jeff for the immediate hell yeah and everything after. 200 to Spike to match the donation I just gave. You Are the Power. Come on, chat.
Thank you, Amity.
Jeff Freeze, the host, minus 200. 100 to Spike for jury nullification. 200 to Spike, jury nullification. Woo, made it. 100 to Spike for being one of the first voices that really got me into libertarianism.
I'm so sorry.
And, I was going to say, since it's positive, I don't think they were blaming you. So that was a positive outcome.
Are you sure that's a plus? Was that plus 100? That wasn't minus?
I always say the best and worst day of your life is when you realize you're a libertarian.
Yep.
You're like, oh, there's people like me. Like, oh, but I'm a libertarian. Oh, this is where the party is. 200 to Jeff. If he says, I'm Jeff, like Channing Tatum. I don't know what that means.
I knew who Channing Tatum is, but I don't know when he ever said I'm Jeff. I'm Jeff. I'm Jeff. Hey, I'm Channing Tatum saying I'm Jeff.
Yeah. 200 to Spike for the rant.
That was worth 200 points.
I got lost points for being muted. Terry's just starring everything at this point. Minus 100 to Free for ruining the show by being muted. Minus 11 to Jeff for streaming on AOL dial-up. Yeah, you are a little pixelated. Look like super Jeff Rio brother over there. 200 to Jeff for Dexter Taylor. 100 to Jeff for the Star Wars shirt. 100 to Spike. This is from Spike. That does count. That does not count. 100 to Jeff for joining the stream feed on a Nokia brick.
Hey, I live out in the country. We don't have all the amenities you guys have.
100 to Spike, abolish immunity. Minus 100 to Spike for coming into the comments to give himself points. 200 to Spike only if we get a mixtape today. You are the power.net/donate. Yeah, we should probably put that on the screen.
We probably should tell people how to donate. Yeah.
We did a lot of math, not a lot of URLs. We were heavy on the math. 111 to Spike. Thank you for helping with Joshua NC represent. Yes. Jeff and Spike are tied right now. 200 to Jeff for having an awesome wife. Yeah, we love Donnie. Minus 100 to Spike for already starting in on Larry Sharpe. 100 to Jeff for having great knowledge on specific cases. All right, I'm not reading the rest of those. Let's jump into the scoreboard and see what's happening here.
All right.
And the scoreboard's not working. And
I win.
All right, let's read a couple more comments.
I win by default? Okay.
Double donation, sign up. Yes. You are the power.net/donate. Terry, the scoreboard's not working.
I win. Okay.
So we just say points as many times as we want. This must be what it feels like to work at the Fed. It's exactly the concept.
Exactly like the Fed.
All the points are made up just like fiat currency. You are so following the concept of the show at this point. Hello from the Oregon coast. Excellent. Lisa Blaze here. Hey, Free. Good luck, Spike. Lisa. I hope you raise a lot of money.
Thank you, Lisa.
200 to any contestant tonight who agrees to be a guest on Aiming Up podcast. 5,000 points to Spike if he talks about mommies and daddies.
No.
Oh, that's Matt Johnson. That's Matt Johnson.
No.
That's Matt Johnson.
Talking about mommies and daddies. Yeah, don't. No, we're not talking about mommies and daddies.
All right, so Terry just texted me, and the score is Spike 3,089, Jeff 2,993. So Spike is the winner of round one. Jeff, you came up short. Your first appearance on the show. What do you think tonight?
Well, in the honor of Representative Jasmine Crockett, who lost her primary tonight, I'm going to blame these results on racism.
Me too. Yeah, no, it's absolutely, and it's racism.
And I thought that you abolished white supremacy. What's up with that?
Yeah.
No, I wore a black and white shirt to try to show unity, but it must not have worked. But
no.
Jeff, you can find on X. He give us your information, like where to find you and what you're working on.
Yeah, you can check me out on Twitter, Jeff Charles Jr. You can check out my Substack, libertychasers.com. Also, check out my fiction web serial called The Harlow Files at theharlowfiles.com. If you like a good murder mystery, check it out.
Excellent. Appreciate you doing this, Jeff, and hope you'll come back on the show sometime. Say hi to Donnie for us.
You got it,
Jeff.
All right, man. Take care, buddy.
God bless, man. Imagine if he had won, and then we'd all be like waiting to see if his like signal lasts through the whole thing. That was trying its best, man.
I could hear the AOL CD spinning. I literally could hear it spinning. Awesome. All right. So our next contestant is in the green room here, Lou Perez. How are you, Lou?
You're muted.
You're muted. You're muted.
You're muted.
Already messing up. I'm doing pretty good. Hopefully I'm doing better than Jeff, who's in his bunker right now, living off the grid.
Yeah. Thanks for doing this. First time on the show. What do you think of You Are the Power?
Oh, I thought it was I Am the Power. I thought this was all coming down and you guys were going to say how great I was. But I think You Are the Power is, it sounds like a cool thing. Never heard of it. You know, this is just another gig for me, another paid gig, right? You guys are paying me. Is that?
I don't think
we'll talk about that later. Yeah, no, we'll talk about that later.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
It was whatever snacks you could find in your immediate vicinity is what you got for being here.
Yeah, from what I was watching earlier, I feel like I took the wrong performance enhancing drugs. It's a different kind of competition.
All right, well, let's get into it here. And all right, Spike, we're going to you.
Okay.
The category is when humor offends authority. Should parody of public officials always be protected speech?
Yeah, it absolutely should. I mean, first of all, if you parodied a parody given a long enough timeline is just a prediction. So in reality, you're just saying what's true about them in the future, because almost every politician over time ends up just becoming a caricature of themselves. So whatever you presented as a parody now in a few years will probably be exactly spot on for them. If anything, like yeah. So I would say absolutely. It's protected under freedom of speech. And you know, if you don't want people to make fun of you, don't sign up for a job where you can potentially ruin millions or billions of people's lives.
All right. Lou, to you. Should the government have any role in policing offensive humor?
The only role government should have is providing the fodder for offensive humor.
I love it. Yeah, they should be the punchline, not the punisher, right?
Right on.
Excellent. All right, Spike, to you. Categories internet censorship. Should citizens ever face penalties for sharing political memes online?
Only in the UK. Only there. And I'm not going to elaborate. No, I don't think that I don't think you should be prosecuted for sharing your opinion. And that's essentially what a meme is. And the reason why they're going after memes is because they're wildly effective. And in the past, there were governments and officials that would go after political cartoons. And before that, they went after jesters. It's always been, humor has been one of the most incredible ways to share an opinion, especially an offensive one or one that's outside of the Overton window. And that's why they're so against it. You know, when you use humor, you lower people's cognitive defenses. Whereas if you just go straight at them with facts, very often they'll kind of put their defenses up and try to defend their pre-existing beliefs on that given subject. But if you go at them with like a meme or something funny, especially if you can kind of hit them hard with the punchline, they'll laugh and then think, that is me, isn't it? Or that's, wow, that's true. I never thought of it that way. And so that's why they go after humor. They go after humor sometimes very even more strongly than they go against someone presenting it in a non-humorous, dry way. So no, it should always be protected.
All right, Lou, to you. Should online platforms be allowed to censor political speech during elections?
Ooh. Well, obviously we're gonna, if they're privately owned, then of course I have to say that they should have that right to do it. But what we saw, during the past, however many elections, is something we called jawboning, which was the government basically putting the squeeze on a lot of the platforms, saying either you play ball or it's not going to be good for you. And when that's happening, obviously, that's something that needs to be addressed and needs to be stopped. As a political satirist and commenter, it is a huge pain in the ass when you're putting stuff out there and day to day you're wondering, is this going to get dinged? Is this going to be taken away from me? And the hope is that there will be enough private actors stepping up to get, so that you can always get that information out, and that there's enough people out there to, be trying to protect us from, nefarious reaches of government and, the collusion with private actors. But yeah, it's been feeling pretty good for I would say maybe the past couple of years. I feel like we're able to get our voices out there a lot more than we used to, but it's so tenuous that I'm really hoping that we don't go back to the way it was.
All right, Spike, to you. Category is assembly in public spaces. Should citizens need government permits to peacefully protest in public spaces?
Again, only in the UK. Everywhere else, absolutely not. I mean, so here's the thing: if the government, if one of the effective ways that we have to try to hold government accountable is to publicly assemble, which is something that's affirmed as a protected right in the First Amendment. If that is one of the most effective, or among the most effective ways to be able to hold them to account, and they get to decide where and when we can do it, what do you want to bet they're just going to say no, or they're going to say, well, yeah, you can do it over here in this quiet, dark area over here, long after it actually matters. We'll let you know when we give you the permit. No, this would be like if someone said, hey, I'd like to give you my opinion and I need your permission first. No, absolutely not. And again, similar to the what we were talking about before with satire, if they don't want to hear our opinions, get another job. You're a public official, and that's not just for elected officials. If you're an appointed official, you are the power. Very often, we will have people contact family court judges, officials at state agencies, people that are working for the government, which means that ostensibly they're working for us. And if that's the case, then you need to hear what we have to say. And if you don't like it, then get another job, because your job affects us. So you should, at the very least, hear from us whenever we'd like for you to hear from us.
All right. You're doing a tourism commercial for the UK right now. So, all right, Lou, to you. Should governments be allowed to restrict protests because they disrupt traffic?
Oh, I think it changes when I'm driving my car and you're standing in front of my car. It changes things big time. I'm going to steal something from Spike. In the UK, go ahead, do that. Do that shit all you want. Feel free to glue your hand to the Monet. Do all that sort of stuff. But I think a really good idea about protesting is to leave the cars alone. American cars are innocent. American cars are beautiful, and we need to get where we're going. So, yes, get out of the road.
All right, Spike, to you. Category is drug decriminalization. This is brought to us by our friends from Zoom Beyond Mushrooms. That's xumtrip.com. That is our friend Avins O'Brien. Spike, and she made a donation to you guys earlier today. So thank you for that, Avins.
Thank you, Avins.
The question is, should adults ever face jail time for possessing drugs for personal use?
Well, gosh, considering I just got a donation from him, I probably should say something. No, seriously, here's the thing. And I say this as someone who is a recovering addict. 20 years clean now? Is that true? Yeah, 20 years clean now. And I don't drink alcohol. I don't do any of this stuff. And I think very often the use of drugs, especially for recreational purposes, pretty much always a bad idea. Certainly most of the time a bad idea. So, I'm very much like a teetotaler. Even before I became religious, I was a teetotaler. With that said, every reason to ban drugs is made worse by banning it. So if you say, well, the problem with drugs is that people can get hopelessly addicted to it. Well, you don't address that by banning it. It doesn't make the demand go away, and it doesn't make the supply go away. In fact, because you're now applying a criminal penalty to it, it actually incentivizes the people providing it to provide the strongest versions, because they're going to get in trouble anyway. And so now they're more likely to give you something that's stronger and more addictive and more destructive to your life. If you say, oh, well, it can cause criminality from people, being intoxicated. Okay, well, again, you didn't get rid of that because the demand and the supply is still there. And now you've taken the supply out of the legal market and put it in the criminal market, which means now you have far more criminal activity. And very often those criminals end up corrupting the government, bribing them to look the other way. And that corruption spills into everything else. So every reason you would give to say, well, this is the reason why we should ban drugs or strictly limit its use or whatever else, all of those things are made worse by declaring a war on drugs. And so even though I personally am not a fan of drugs in any stretch of the imagination, I think that if you criminalize it, we've seen what happens. Everything is worse. You create more criminality, you create more addiction, you create more bad outcomes, and then you also give government agencies a way to fund their clandestine operations around the globe by selling drugs in your community while pretending they're against drugs.
All right, Lou, to you. Should states be free to legalize substances the federal government bans?
Sure. Go for it.
That's it. All right.
That's it. I was told if I got closer to my camera, I would get like 70 points. So
all right.
I like these yes no answers, guys. You know, things that the world's so complicated. We need to simplify it. Sure.
1,000 points to Lou for taking the term lightning round seriously.
Yeah,
I know. Actually, I was about to complain that there hasn't been any strikes of lightning yet. So
Yes, it's early.
I'm in Florida. Don't tempt the sky. We almost we lost power during the show last night. So all right. But that'll bring us to the end of the round. We're doing quick rounds here. So enter your scores. Now would be a great time to donate as well. I'm going to put it on the screen just to show that I know how to use buttons on this program. I'm very adept at the software. You are the power. And then Terry pressed a different button, which covered my thing. So it's youarethepower.net/donate. Excellent. All right. So let's jump into the chat here and see what they thought of you guys' performance. Points to Lou for the 401k. Hit something. Now
is that reference to my forehead? My gigantic forehead?
I don't know. That's a lot of words. Minus 200 to Lou for not knowing you are the power. Minus to Lou for the fake bookcase. 171 to Lou for performance enhancing drugs. 100 to Spike for doing almost everything for free. 200 to Spike, all speech protected. 200 to Spike, parody is freedom. 100 to Spike for bullying politicians. 100 to Lou for having more books behind him than Free has ever read. Literally on one shelf, he's got more books than I ever read.
I knew the props were going to get me points. That's why I just loaded the props up.
Yeah. Noxie's here. What's up, Noxie? Speech is either free or it's not. 200 to Spike for the facts predicting parody programming. 200 to Lou to use humor while answering about humor. 200 to Lou for protecting humor. 100 to Lou, government to provide fodder. 100 to Spike for the UK being suck. 200 to Spike for the spicy memes. 100 to Lou for using Spike's salmon to gel his hair.
This isn't even gel. This is just I don't have a shower, guys. I really need the money. I know I need to get You Are the Power to help me get a place.
Our newest cause is a shower for you.
You need You Are the Water pressure more than You Are the Power.
I need you guys.
It looks like you have power. You don't have water. Is
no water.
Yeah.
100 to Spike for being a funny amateur humorist. 200 to Spike for defending the meme lords. 164 to Spike for the memes in the UK. All right, let's jump to the scoreboard here.
Oh man,
and
this is close.
I don't think I'm gonna get a shower, guys.
And here we go. All right, Spike 36-33.
Wow.
Lou just behind with 33-71. Lou, we've been chasing you to be on the show for a while. I actually tracked you down at Freedom Fest, so we're so happy to have you. What did you think about being on the show?
Oh, it was great. I had a really, really good time. And all kidding aside, and I'm a big kidder, Spike is amazing. And to be able to be a part of a something like this with Spike is it's really an honor. So thank you guys for thinking of me and for having me be involved. And I would. Spike, next time I see you, you owe me a shower.
So. I do owe you a shower. I'll stay away from it while you're doing it, but I will get you some running water. And thank you for coming on. Do come back on their show again, and next time they'll rig it for you, and then you'll win. So.
Lou, I really enjoy both of your podcasts. Plug your stuff, please.
Yeah, you can check out my stuff at thelouperez.com, and I'm on all the socials at Lou Perez or the Lou Perez.
Excellent, and we've got that right here. The author of That Joke Isn't Funny Anymore on the death and rebirth of comedy, thatlouperez.com, and on X he's at Lou Perez. Really appreciate you being here. You're one of the funniest guys in our movement. And it was a thrill to have you, buddy.
Thank you, guys. Enjoy the rest of the game.
Thank you, Lou. God bless, man. Thank you.
All right. And next,
going down one by one.
I didn't even have this guy on the schedule. Do you know who this is? It's that lectern guy.
Whoa. Well, how did he get in here?
I don't know. Do we leave the door open?
The doors
You
were
let 'em
open.
in
They
through the
walked in
front door.
peacefully.
We put up the velvet ropes to keep people out, and somehow he got in.
But then you
What's
let
up,
him right
guys?
in.
Glad to be here.
You're not going to take our furniture, Adam, are you?
I might move it a little bit and leave it where I didn't find it, but that's not a crime.
Hey, Adam, thanks for coming on, man. I really appreciate it. And Free, you can't claim someone broke in if you let them in the front door, hypothetically.
Well, I mean, it's it's security issues, right? Yeah. So
Okay.
All right, I'm on it. All right, so let's get back into it. We're doing quick rounds here, so trying to keep it moving. Spike, the question to you, the category is government intimidation of citizens. Should citizens ever face investigation simply for criticizing government officials?
Again, only in the UK. I just realized. So I'm wondering why there's two of me. The one on the left is what it looks like if someone's like on their phone, and Anyway, yeah, no, I think that I don't think anyone should be punished for criticizing officials. Again, usually whatever criticism you say, given a long enough timeline, they'll end up doing it. Like, I mean, think of all the people that were just randomly calling every politician a powerful global pedophile. And then it's like, yeah, they actually all were. And so, the longer you wait, the more it ends up probably being true. But whether or not it was true to begin with. But I think that, again, if you are a government official and you can't take the heat of someone saying they don't like the job you're doing or they don't like how you're doing something, and your response is to go after them, then that's absolutely unacceptable. Go get another job. We saw that a very recent one, Rebecca Massey showing up to the Surprise, Arizona City Council, speaking to the mayor there, Skip, whatever his name was. Doesn't matter anymore because he resigned in disgrace. But she shows up, she criticizes him, she really calls him out for what he's doing, and so they have her arrested in front of her minor daughter, who they leave in the parking lot, and they run up a bunch of charges on her, and they think that that problem went away. And instead what happened was everyone involved resigned in disgrace, and she's continuing to move forward against the corruption that she saw there. And it's just, there are so many examples of this. When you call out government officials, their response should be repentance, not to try to repress you.
All right. Adam, to you. Should regulators be able to threaten businesses over political speech?
Absolutely not. You have a right to hire people and fire people the way you want to hire people and fire people. I think it's your private business, and what you do with your business is your job. It's your prerogative.
Right. Spike, to you, the question is, should government agencies be allowed to pressure banks to close accounts for political reasons?
So, Adam, if you're not going to donate the gold bar, can you donate the plushie?
It's not mine. I borrowed this cat.
You borrowed? Okay. All right.
Well,
that answered that question. It opens up others' questions. I've completely forgotten your question. What was the question?
The question was something about a cat. Should government agencies be allowed to pressure banks to close accounts for political reasons?
Absolutely not. This goes back to what Lou was talking about with jawboning. What happens here is, and we saw this during COVID, and we're seeing it to some extent now as well, is the government will act through so-called private actors, right? They'll act through the social media channels. They'll act through the mainstream media. They'll act through banking. They'll act through these big providers, and then they'll say, well, this is just companies deciding not to do business with you. And if that's what it truly was, okay, fantastic, then you can go somewhere else. But when the government's doing it, they're not just saying that, I don't know, Wells Fargo or Chase can't have your account anymore. They're effectively saying that you're unbanked. You can't put your money anywhere. You can't do anything. And so, no, I don't think that they should be able to do that for to anyone, especially for political speech.
All right. Adam, to you. Should officials face penalties for using government power to silence critics?
Absolutely. I think those penalties should actually be higher because they are in a position of power. And when you abuse power, being in a position of power, it should be worse. If we look at the Bible, I'm a Christian, so we talk about false pastors and preachers coming out and speaking against what the word actually says. And God, the Bible actually says he will judge you more harshly. Yep. So I think the same standard should be used against politicians who abuse their power to come after people using their power.
Amen. 1,000 points to Adam for being the first person to bring up Christianity, which is surprising considering I'm on this.
I was going to say, that's off brand. All right. Spike, to you, the category is citizens versus the bureaucracy. Should government agencies be required to answer citizens' complaints within strict deadlines?
Oh, yeah, I absolutely think that they should. And it shouldn't just be because very often when they'll have these deadlines, their response will be, we're still working on getting your information together. Well, if there's any kind of impediment to getting the information out there, you should have to release everything. If it's, oh, well, there's just so much here. Okay, release it all. We'll look at it, right? I bet we can probably use AI to parse through it in a matter of seconds at this point. So, yeah, no, I think there's no reason. And I think the deadline should be not just strict, but they should be pretty short. Again, we're in the information age now. If someone's requesting like body cam footage, you can pull that up in a matter of minutes. There's zero reason for it to take 90 days and 6 months and years and all of this stuff. And it also should be free to the person requesting. So that's another thing that's used a lot in many states where, for example, with the Joshua Rohrer case, he had to spend tens of thousands of dollars in legal fees to get access to the body cam footage of his arrest. It wasn't even of someone else. It was of his arrest. And you had people arguing in court. You had the state arguing in court and running up, they're using our dollars for their legal costs. They're spending time in court arguing things like, well, it would actually hurt the privacy of the person who was arrested if we were to release it. He's requesting that it's released. And so it's there should be strict deadlines. They should be very short. And the default should be towards erring on the side of releasing whatever they request at the moment they request it.
All right. Adam, to you. Should citizens have the right to challenge bureaucratic rulings without hiring a lawyer?
They absolutely should. The issue is they're not lawyers. And the way the system is put in place is you will not win against a court because you're not actually going against a court of your peers. You're going against a court of peers that actually don't understand the law. So they'll side with people who, are able to articulate speech and are able to articulate, the law better. So while I think they should, I think it's a losing proposition for them.
All right. You must have seen the show before because you keep changing props. That's a Dan Berman move right there. Excellent. All right. Spike, to you. Should agencies face penalties when they violate their own rules?
How many plushies did you borrow?
There is a plethora of plushies.
It's every.
I'm going to build a bear workshop right now. So
is that what it is?
Just grabbing them off the shelf. That's awesome. That is great. Just put the question back up. I wasn't paying attention.
At least it's not a build a lectern workshop.
Yet.
Should agencies face penalties when they violate their own rules?
Yeah, they should face, and again, like Adam said, they should face harsher punishment than the rest of the public can get for a similar reason as when it says in the Bible, it's Book of James. I know I have to pull out my Christianity because Adam brought it up first. A part of the reason why the teachers and the pastors are held to a much higher standard is because the harm they can do of saying something theologically wrong or leading someone astray is exponentially worse that could be done by just someone else that's sitting in the church saying something wrong. So in a similar token, not quite the same because the consequences are eternal there, but in this case, I as a private actor, as just me, Spike Cohen, I can do something to someone or a handful of people and I can cause a lot of harm, and I should absolutely be punished for that. But if I'm the same person, same exact human being, operating as a government official outside of my bounds or even within my bounds, but in a malicious way, I can cause exponentially more harm. Forget harming one person or a handful of people. I can harm an entire city, an entire county, an entire state, an entire country. If I'm in some kind of position that makes decisions about war, I can affect people in other countries. We're seeing that right now. So, yes, the moment that it's demonstrated that they're using their position to harm people, the punishment should be swift and severe, and it should make an example. It should make an example to other people in those positions of power that this is what happens if you harm people. Instead, they get the opposite. They get this insane over presumption of innocence to the point where even after it's been demonstrated they were in the wrong, that they're given this insane either qualified immunity or if it's an elected official or a prosecutor or a judge, they get absolute immunity. And that's insane. They should be getting the opposite. They should not only not be getting immunity, they should be getting punished even worse.
All right, Adam, to you. Should unelected regulators be able to create rules with the force of law?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. The entire system we have is we're supposed to elect people that we believe in, that we trust in, that will actually carry our vote, carry our voice. And if we're having people who are unelected basically rule over us, we are no longer a republic at all. So I think the clear way through is actually very simple. We elect people, we believe in them, and we make sure that the people we're electing are the right people to elect. We have to stay diligent, even at a local level, which is, I think I think where most of our country has gone awry. We're not paying attention in our backyards.
All right. Now is the time to enter your scores in the chat.
Oh, I just started pulling out props. All right. Okay, fine.
And donate to You Are the Power. And let me put that up again real quick. Donate to youarethepower.net/donate. Let's jump in the comments and see what's going on. 200 points for Lectern looking like a true Nordic mega Chad. 100 to Adam for those gorgeous locks. 200 to Adam for not believing in security theater. 200 to Adam, the answer and the pet. Adam, no loitering, minus 200. 100 to Spike for eating my salmon dinner in Palm Springs. Minus 100 the other guy for not being Spike. Oh, that's Thomas right there.
That's Thomas Queter, yeah.
Yeah. 100 to Spike for learning how computers work. 100 to Spike for realizing there are two of him. Yeah, that was trippy. 200 to Spike catching on to the technology. 100 to Spike F the UK. 200 to Spike for shouting out the amazing Rebecca Massey. 100 to Spike for the honest distraction. 100 for the Lectern memes. 200 to Adam for the Pantene Pro P. Just donated 50 to You Are the Power.
Thank you, Liz. Thank you.
That's Liz. Good job.
Thank you, Liz.
200 to Spike for being the voice of others. 100 to Adam for your private business is your business. 275 to Adam for looking like Jesus if he was a libertarian. Minus 100 to Spike for forgetting the question and trailing off like Scott Horton.
That's fair.
Minus 100 to Adam for playing with a fake animal. 200 to Adam for the cute stuffy. 100 to Adam for the Christ-pilled response. Yeah. Minus 100 to Spike. Chase didn't steal your money. I've seen his campaign finance reports. 200 to Adam because Christ is king. 100 to Adam for the racing seat. 100 to Adam for researching the show. All your donations are being doubled tonight. You are the power.net/donate. Wait, there's more. They're being tripled.
They're being tripled.
200 to Spike for calling out the plushies. 200 to Spike for holding leaders and pastors accountable. Let's jump to the scoreboard and see what happened.
I'm nervous about this one. Wow.
Spike 2,900. Adam 2,575.
Wow.
Adam, your first time on the show, you came up a little short. What did you think?
It was a great time. Honestly, these conversations need to exist. And I think there are a lot of people who are having them behind closed scenes. And I think what we need to do is have it out in the open. I think a lot of people are coming back to the center, coming back to reality, coming back to actually what America stood for. So I'm proud to be here. I'm, honored to be here. So thanks for having me.
Yeah, we loved having you. Plug your stuff, please.
My name's Adam Johnson. I'm running for a local office, Manatee County Commission, District 6. You can help support my campaign at voteadamjohnson.com. We're going to win this race, and we're going to try to make sure that our backyards are secure first, because that's how we win.
Excellent. Thanks for doing this. Hope to have you back on some other time.
Thank you for coming on.
We really appreciate it.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Good night.
God bless. Man.
All right. Next up, Spike, you're surviving to this point. I mean, it's been sketchy a little
shocked. When he pulled out the golden AK, I'm like, I know this is rigged, but I think I might lose now. And I didn't. So I was very excited.
Wrestling is real, Spike. I'm wearing the shirt.
I know.
It's very official.
I can tell.
All right. Next up, Chef Andrew Gruel. How are you tonight?
I am doing well. I've been over here in the green room doing push-ups this whole time, so I'm ready.
Are you pumped? Are you pumped? All right.
It's called swollen.
You're swole. Yeah, you got the swole going. Excellent. Yeah. All right. Let's just jump right into it. And
he's been green room maxing.
There's so much going on here. This is so crazy. Usually we have 3 people on. It's way chiller than this. Oh, this is such chaos. All right. Spike, to you, shockingly with Chef Gruel here, the category is restaurant.
No way.
Should home kitchens be allowed to sell food directly to customers?
Yeah, I think so. I think the ability to cook food, like, let's break this down real quick. I invite you to my house and I say, hey, I'm going to make you a delicious salmon. It would be salmon because that's all I eat. And I make you a delicious salmon and you go, wow, this is incredible. Thank you. So far, legal. Okay. And then I say, hey, would you like some more salmon? And they go, yes, I would love more. Again, legal. And then finally, at about the 5th or 6th serving of salmon, you go, Spike, this is too much. You've given me so much salmon. I am so stuffed to the gills. Ha! I'm so stuffed that I got to give you something back because this is very expensive salmon. And I go, it is. I only eat expensive salmon. And you say, okay, all right, well, I'll give you $50. And I go, wow, that's amazing. Thank you so much. And you go, so far, I believe still possibly legal. And then at some point you say, hey, what if other people came here and ate some of this delicious salmon and then they gave you some money too? And I go, okay, that works against the law. Now, this is absurd. And I think that, you should be able to, I think we need to make the tamale lady great again.
I did not see that pivot into the quick end there.
In conclusion,
you had faked me. I was doing your culinary journey through the parking lot of wherever you were at, and I got totally lost. All right,
sorry.
Andrew, to you.
All right. Well, first of all, that's my new one there. MTLGA, make the tamale lady great again.
Yes, exactly.
So I will say this: the premise of this.
Well, hold on a second. You get a different question.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So should food trucks be allowed to operate without restrictive location rules?
I mean, that's a very broad question, and I think overlooks a lot of the nuances of where food trucks should and shouldn't park. But I think that generally speaking, that's a local issue, right? So I think that that's ultimately up to local city councils and zoning boards to determine where they should or shouldn't park, because food trucks actually do have a lot of effluent that can harm the surrounding marine ecosystem. I'm thinking about California, and there are specifications that are required, or else the externalities are going to go far beyond affecting only the food truck. They're going to affect the entire neighborhood, infrastructure, etc. So there should actually be specifications. As a former food truck owner, I own 4 food trucks. I understand why we need to have a few guardrails in there from that perspective. So yeah,
I was trying to give you a good food truck question, but it seems like it came up a little short. But I'll try better next time. Spike, to you, should restaurant owners be free to choose their own business hours without permits?
I would think, generally speaking, yeah. I don't think most restaurants want to be open 24/7. And if they do, then let them. I mean, like Waffle House is open 24/7. I guess I'll just say this, because I'm not a restaurant expert, but I will say this. If Waffle House can sell what they call food 24/7, then I feel like the tamale lady should be able to do the same. I'm leaning into the tamale lady thing. That seemed to be a big hit. And so I would say the same. I think to Andrew's point, absolutely. If there's going to be any kind of restriction, it needs to be at the local level. And there's a good reason for that. First of all, well, actually 2 good reasons. First of all, that's what the Constitution says. You don't have this being decided at the federal level. It should be decided as locally as possible, all the way down to maybe even letting the individual decide it for themselves. And the other reason is that if the city goes too far, or if the people don't like the restrictions that are in place, it's going to be a lot easier for them to organize to get things changed or removed than it would be if it's some much higher and more centralized level of government. But I'd say, generally speaking, yeah, if you're again, tamale lady, I really seems to be a big hit with everyone. And so I would say if the tamale lady wants to be making tamales 24/7, then God bless.
All right. You guys all kicked out of Waffle House in that answer. I hope you lost points for that.
Probably so.
Andrew, to you. Should small restaurants face the same regulatory burden as national chains?
Whoa, well, once again, the premise is wrong. I don't know what regulatory burdens the national chains face that small restaurants don't face. It's the opposite, actually. Small restaurants should have more freedom and liberty than some of the national chains, number one. And number two, most small restaurants ultimately are going to be managed within that local community. And they are going to have to be held to the standard of that local community. So even going back to your last question, when it comes to permits and hours, every city has a general plan, and there's certain areas in which things are zoned. So if it's like commercially zoned, then they take into consideration that a restaurant's going to be open. Now, if you want to maybe get a conditional use permit that says I need to be open longer for various reasons, then there might be a wide swath of a residential area that ultimately has input. That's important because you need that community input. But I don't necessarily understand the idea behind national restaurant chains having a different regulatory framework. And furthermore, it's the national chains who want the barriers put in place, or they want that moat around the castle so that the small guys actually have a hard time overcoming those hurdles or getting into the castle. So then that's ultimately how these monopolies are created, or these oligopolies.
Yeah, that's what I was going for. I'm a libertarian, so I was going for they shouldn't face the same burdens, but you nailed it. So that was a great answer. Spike, to you. The category is public comment or public control. Should elected officials be required to respond to citizens' concerns on the record?
I think that if they do respond, that they should do so on the record. I would say that. I'm not sure I want to compel them to speak about every single concern that's brought up. I think it's good practice, but they need to listen. They need to listen to every single concern that comes in. And I would say I can understand why time limits are introduced during public comment. But I've also seen how that's weaponized, and I've seen how because they're allowed to set time limits, you'll have I've been to city and county council meetings where they saw a bunch of people showed up and they gave everyone like a minute to talk. Well, you can't unpack what you have to say about something important in 1 minute's time, and they weren't even allowing people to say, well, can I give my minute to someone else? And so I think. I think if you had to set a time limit, really someone needs at least 3 or 4 minutes to unpack it. And I actually like the city councils that have little to no limits on it, or maybe they set a limit of